The break meta is probably coming back, guys. Yes, while we did just have the biggest pump fake ever in Cyrene, where I think people are overhating on Cyrene, I don't think she's as bad as people are claiming she is. I think she has great utility within this version right now. People, I think, had this over expectation of what Cyrene is able to do, and that's why I think Constance, yes, guys, Constance, the character we're getting very, very soon, the Dom Mommy, the new Dom Mommy, maybe replacing Kafka in the placement of Dom Mommies, okay? We are getting her in the next patch, guys, in version 3.8, which will be the final patch of the version, I guess, the 3.x cycle. So, with that being said, guys, how good is this character going to be? Is she going to revive the Super Break class? We're talking about all that in today's video, going over a full kit breakdown for the Dahlia, and to really quickly touch on the question I just asked there. Do I think she'll revive the break meta? Absolutely. I think she'll absolutely revive the break meta if we get a good break DPS. And what I mean by that is either A, we need Firefly to be buffed, because I think really she is only going to work super well with Firefly, and we'll get into the reasons why that is while we break down her kit. Number two, we need a new break DPS that revolves around fire. So if we don't get either of those two things, I think it might be cooked. I think this also signals for the future of what we might see in the rest of version 3.x and beyond, because generally if we look back at the end of each version patch, one of the characters has defined the meta to come. So when we think about 2.7 going into 3.0, who defined the meta here, guys? Sunday. Why? Because he worked with Memo sprites. He really improved upon what we were getting there. Right now, Fugue did nothing, right? Fugue really helped out the break meta that was already there. And I think that dichotomy that we see right here really describes the era that we were in, right? The era that we are in was Fugue helped out the break characters. And the same thing can now apply to version 3.7 and 3.8. What does Cyrene help with? Basically all of your DPS and strong DPS that you've gotten in version 3.x. So what is Constance? Well, the Dahlia, don't come on, guys, don't at me on that. So what Constance tells me is she's going to be whatever the future is, hopping into the next version patch. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the kit breakdown right now, because I do think she's going to be absolutely strong, and I think she's going to be undervalued because she is a break support. And with currently how weak right now in the game break is, that's why I think that she is going to be undervalued, where I think Cyrene was hyped up by everyone. Even me, when Cyrene was first announced, she was hyped up, but she wasn't as good as people made her out to be, because people thought she was going to be this god-level character, when she's honestly kind of more balanced than you would think she is. She's not like super uber broken. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. This glaze is crazy. Anyways, that's besides the point. If you want to watch that, watch my tier list video, but we take a look right now. Guys, look at this. Firefly, tier 1.5, tier 3, tier 1. Rappa, tier 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. And then Boot Hill, tier 2, tier 5, tier 1. They're all dropping each and every patch. They're moving further and further down the tier list. Guys, Trailblazer Harmony used to be up here because Break used to be relevant. Break is not relevant right now, and that is what she is going to change. So let's go ahead and hop into what she's going to be doing. First of all, guys, her skill move. She's going to be deploying a zone, which is going to be lasting for 3 turns. Absolutely amazing. So she is the Zhao Cho of the Break class, surely, right? But what I really like about this, and why I think it'll make Break meta again, because first of all, this will be dealing fire damage to one designated target and an adjacent target, so it's a blast attack. Okay, cool. Don't really care about that. But where this really comes into play at is, number one, guys, increase all allies' weakness break efficiency by 50%. Keep this in mind here, 50% weakness break efficiency. I want to say, I could be wrong, let me know in the comment section down below. I think she's the second character we've got in the game that truthfully and honestly provides a weakness break efficiency buff to the whole team. The only other character we've ever gotten that's done this is, who would have thought, one of the best characters we've ever gotten in the game, guys, that came out, and what do you know? Version 1.6, whenever the 1.x era was ending, she defined the era of version 2.x and beyond, because she helped break out and she just helped out so many teams that she also provided weakness break efficiency at 50%. So with that in mind, guys, we now have someone that replaces Ruan Mei in this team. And the reason why I say she replaces Ruan Mei, while yes, she does work for break teams, and I think she's good for break teams, her full kit didn't correlate to helping with break characters, because while yes, the weakness break efficiency helped, while yes, the extra break effect helped, she provided a damage bonus, which they couldn't take use of at all. That's going to be changing with this character here, guys, because not only is she providing this weakness break efficiency here, also toughness reduction taken by an enemy target while not weakness broken can be converted to super break damage. This is the biggest thing with this kit right here. And what this means, guys, is whenever you're attacking an enemy, say with your Firefly or with your Rappa, right, you have to wait for the shields broken to deal super break damage. This bypasses that. This front loads their damage. This is like the Kafka of Dot right here. This is going to be literally enabling them to do even more damage. This unit right here, honestly, 100% real with you guys, if this ability stays the same way it is now, Constance will be what Kafka is to the DOT class. She enables front loading the damage, which is one of the biggest problems, because if you really think about it, guys, whenever you get into some of these fights, you break their shield, say you misbroke them, right? Say you broke them at the wrong timing, right? They get their Constance bars back up. Then where's your damage at? You have no damage until they're broken again. That is literally the biggest con with a break S team, is not being able to do damage because the enemy's not weakness broken. So with that being said, guys, this is going to be absolutely massive. This also will allow them to attack those bigger shield targets to do damage there as well. So we do like the conversion to super break damage. Let's hop into some of the other abilities here though. Next up here, the ult. Ult being a 130 energy cost, I think that's fine, considering that you'll put a wilt state on the enemies lasting for 4 turns. That's absolutely massive. Of course, if they have action advance, it won't matter as much. But on top of this as well, guys, she'll be doing fire damage to every single enemies on the field. She's also going to be reducing the defense of all these targets by 18% and applies the weakness of all dance partners to the enemy target as well. So what does this tell me that this does right here? Now, this does help out Hill, because this literally automatically applies a physical debuff to the enemy. This also applies an imaginary debuff to the enemy, and then it'll also be applying a fire debuff to the enemy as well to cover all 3 of our characters. Now, Firefly does have the ability to implant her own weakness type on the enemy, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to talk about why she is better for Firefly coming up very shortly, guys. So this is absolutely massive, and you can take massive use of the defense shred, because defense shred does help out with break damage. Now, hopping into the talent, when entering combat, she gets 35 energy and grants dance partner to this unit and the teammate who triggered combat. So if you enter battle with, let's say your Rappa, let's say your Firefly, right, they're automatically going to have dance partner. Now where this starts getting really juicy at is actually in the ability that Constance has in actually being able to do additional damage, which I think Fugue and so many other break type supports actually falter at here. Number 1, after dance partner weakness breaks an enemy, the toughness reduction from this attack is converted into 1 instance of super break damage at 60%. Okay, that's pretty good. But what it also is going to be doing, guys, after an enemy target is attacked by the other dance partner, the Dahlia launches a follow-up attack dealing 5 instances of damage, each dealing fire damage equal to 30% of Dahlia's attack to 1 random enemy. After each instance of damage to a weakness broken enemy target, the toughness reduction from this is converted to 1 instance of super break damage at 200%. That is fucking massive. That makes her a very solid sub-DPS character, and this can only be triggered once per turn, so you obviously want her to be fast, so she's able to basically keep following up as quickly as possible, right? But it doesn't end there, guys, because we're going to hop into what her bonus abilities do. When entering combat, increases other characters' break effect by 20% of her own break effect, plus 50%, so this is a full team-wide break effect buff, and it's super easy to get this up as well, because literally, you can get this up by either getting healing or a shield out. So this does 2 things, actually, and one thing that I think players are not going to like, because this is actually going to be disincentivizing you to run a healer on the team. So sustainless teams here, you do lose this break effect buff. So kind of cooked there on that end. So if you're a real sweaty player, then L, I guess. But overall, I'm not a sweaty player. I don't care about this. I think this is fine because this is how I run my team anyways. Next up, guys, when using talent's follow-up attack, recover 1 skill point for allies. This can happen once every 2 talent follow-up attacks. Guys, one of the biggest problems we run into is running out of skill points on break teams, because literally someone like Firefly is so fast, you're going through skill points like that, right? Having the ability to get additional skill points now going to be helping out that regeneration so much. And now to the final one, guys. Outgrow the old, outspoost the new, whatever that says. This is why I think we either A, need a buff for Firefly, or B, we are going to be needing another fire DPS break type character in the future, or the very near future, right? When an ally character applies a weakness to an enemy target, increase speed by 30% for 2 turns. So this also applies to her. So she gets a free 30% speed buff because she is able to apply, you know, weakness implants to the enemy. And then also with that as well, if you're running someone like Firefly, which already is going to be applying a weakness implant to an enemy too, that's an additional 30% speed buff for your Firefly too. And then when this effect is triggered by a fire character, Firefly also regenerates a set amount of energy equal to 10% of the max energy, capping at 50% of the max energy. What is one of Firefly's biggest issues is whenever she comes out of her form and you have to re-get her form back up. If you're getting 10% energy back whenever you're getting this off and making sure you're getting your energy back like that, holy shit, this is massive. This is the character that's going to bring back the break class. This answers almost every single one of my questions, because honestly, I knew break class was a failing class, and the only way they could turn it around is that somehow they could front load the damage. My biggest problem with break was what happens when there's too many shields. The class is dead. This fixes that all the way. I genuinely think that break is going to be the best meta in the game. I think this could actually make break the best meta in the game, because we've already seen the lengths of the damage you can get on super break damage already. Now being able to do that when the enemy's not weakness broken, This is fucking broken. I think she's kind of undervalued right now because of how bad, you know, our break characters are currently perceived. Obviously, we're gonna have the break heads out there like the Firefly mains and fucking Rappa mains and, you know, Boot Hill mains are like, oh, no, this always been good. Shut the fuck up. Y'all went to the fucking shitter. Y'all went to the goddamn gutter. But right now it's good. Right now it's amazing. Right now it's great. I think genuinely we'll be seeing more super break characters coming in version 4.0 in terms of DPS. And I really do think she needs a new fire DPS to help her out with this. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Constance in the comment section down below. I think she breaks the meta. I think she changes the meta. And I think she is the future of Honkai Star Rail. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you next one. Later. Bye.